Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's currently 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and you know what that means. It's time to get warmed up. Probably my fastest segue so far. I hope anybody who's here has had an amazing day so far. Nothing really to report on. I keep saying that, but hey, that's summer for you, right? Starting the storyboarding portion of the video. Now, it's a bit... First of all, it's barely storyboarding. I just take some of the script and then plan what's going to be on screen for that portion of the script on a board of sorts, so a storyboard. But today was mostly just figuring out thumbnail stuff, how I want to, like, there will be things on the screen, but how do I want to present those things on the screen as well? So what font, what color scheme, what kind of UI, basically. Because I'm changing it up from the lesson 2 video. Changing up my workflow. Making the thumbnails is a bit arduous, but also pretty fun because I just get to take all my work and put in a big old collage. That's how I like presenting it. With like some big centerpiece, probably my favorite drawing. So for lesson 3 it was the mushroom. For lesson 4 it'll probably be one of the Beatles. Or the fly. Ooh, no, the fly. Even though I didn't use that in my submission because it was a demo. I'm gonna use that. And then for lesson 5, probably the okapi or maybe the tiger, but probably the okapi. Maybe the African wild dog, the second one. I was so confused because I felt like the second one was the best one I drew, and the third one was the worst one I drew. And the first one was meh. But yeah, just mainly working on that a lot today. Played a little bit of video games here and there. I'm getting a bit more into like my philosophy zone. It's been a while since, like, every so often I get in the mood to read some books on philosophy or watch some videos on it and this stuff. And last summer I did that just with playing the Talos Principle, which was very diet, very it's fun to sit there and think about the concepts presented, but Talos Principle 2 isn't as I don't think it's as mentally intrusive, if that's a word, as the first Talos Principle is, because I feel like the first Talos Principle I was just completely every single concept, and it was also my first game that kind of delved into philosophy like that. But every discussion point, everything interested me, and I even looked up definitions for words I've never seen, or that's when I started using the word and now I can't even remember it. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite words. When it's assuming that humanity will always do the worst. Oh my gosh, come on, what is it? Anti something, but whatever. So much for learning, right? Really loved all the concepts presented there. Hoping to make some leeway though. I'm getting into the groove, definitely, because like I said, script writing is the hardest for me. When it comes to designing and making stuff, it sucks because sometimes you have an idea for how you want to present something, and then you actually put it together and it doesn't look too good. For example, in the lesson 2 video, I wanted to get a bunch of basically a giant collage of all the streams on screen, and I did, and it looked really bad. So, I want to do that this time. I don't think that's the move though. I want to limit the amount. Once again, it's a game of workflow. I want to improve my workflow with this one. See what I can do to make things faster. I already am very, very used to Paint, Photoshop, and or very light baby Photoshop and Inkscape. So just or Paint.net, I should say, not just raw Microsoft Paint. So I'm well acquainted with those. And Premiere, I know the baby stuff, the very basic stuff. I feel like Inkscape has more of a rabbit hole than Premiere, because Premiere, it's just a video editor. It can do many great things, but it is just a video editor. And if you want to do things when it comes to SVGs, you go to Illustrator, and more effects oriented stuff, you go to After Effects, etc. But like, applying certain effects and things inside of Inkscape offered a lot more tools than I thought it would, if that makes sense. But that's also because I grew up with Paint.net, so I have a very low expectation for the functionalities of image editors. I feel like, as evil as Adobe is, they could have really played it smart by like just letting kids, hey, what's up? How's it going, James? Letting kids use Photoshop, because then they would grow up knowing that tool set. Because the language of Photoshop and a lot of Adobe products is completely different than most sensical other products. Like, honestly, I liked more of the functionality in Sony Vegas, or like the way you do transitions in Sony Vegas makes total sense. And like applying effects and stuff. Premiere, it's very strange. And the workflow's weird. But once again, that's because I grew up with Sony Vegas, not Adobe Premiere. Very, very chill stream today, Jims. We'll see who shows up, but I'm playing the calmer music. If there's any stream to sleep to, it would be this one. Yeah. It's really fallen out of fashion because Premiere is just kind of the GOAT, if not, I've heard good things about DaVinci Resolve, which I've never used. Why? I'm gonna be playing the album Milk Outside of a Bag of Milk Outside of a Bag of Milk. Original game soundtrack by Nikita Kryakov. How dare I? How dare I make people fall asleep? Originally, my whole thing was like, drink water, but maybe it's just like putting people to sleep. Maybe I should lean into that a little bit more. I haven't listened to this whole album, so we'll see how it goes. Here, actually, wait. I'm gonna look up something real quick. Does this even have... Is this just ambience? It kind of sounds just like ambience. Interesting. Very Doomer vibes tonight, I guess. Want to put a good cylinder on the page as opposed to how we have been. Not too proud of our work. I watched an art streamer today on YouTube, and I actually saw a familiar face. I'm not sure if they want their name called out in chat, but I saw... Okay, this music's a lot darker than I thought it'd be. Here, we'll change it back. Fine, we could do Slime Rancher. The vibe has changed. Oh, goodness. Shadow Kavel, yeah. I don't think I've had any crazy Shadow Kavel dreams or behaviors as of recent. I have no fear that Shadow Kavel will ever stream, because I don't think Shadow Kavel can get to my PC, turn it on, and then like set everything up. But there's always the possibility. Maybe I need to do like a CAPTCHA or like play a game of Cyber Grind. Like get to wave 10 of the Cyber Grind on Ultra Kill to prove that you're the real Kavel. Because 10 isn't hard, but I feel like it is notably impossible for Shadow Kavel to get to wave 10 of Cyber Grind. For me, that's light work. I can get there, no problem. I'm the best Ultra Kill player in the world. But yeah. James, I saw you're getting into Fusion 360 today. Heck yeah. What's your or you're at least getting the certificate? Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, you mentioned that because I know you are fond of SolidWorks, but I'm not sure about your experience with Fusion. Huge. As you know, I'm a Fusion fanboy. It's just a YouTube video. Ah, gotcha. Well, Jim's, in my humble opinion, I think like as soon as possible, you should start just making things to 3D print, because that'll get you the most experience in terms of that. Learning, how to calculate tolerance and just the error that your 3D printer will introduce. Of course, best practices, just kind of jumping into it. That's the best way I've learned anything, and I've always loved it for that. I was thinking, actually, no ads. Hello, what's up? Yep, pre-rolls are off for another 46 minutes. Such as the benefit of running ads at the beginning and middle of the stream. I need a foundation first. Gotcha. That's mighty accurate. Heck yeah. Oh, yikes. Lots of bowing right there. There we go. Somehow at 5K again. Heck yeah. The slots are gonna be. Yeah. I may turn off the wheel after you guys redeem it, because I'm not sure if this Friday I want to continue on the Kaiman sketch or do a new wheel entry. But we're definitely filling up, which is a good thing. Oh wait, we have to get Rise to have one in there though, and then we'll turn it off for a while, and then we'll turn it on again whenever I feel like. We could use a refresher. Ah, geez. Can we get an option to request music like 300 Kavel points per music request? Probably not, because music is tough. I probably drawing is easy because I can look up that character on the spot and be like, is this a controversial character? Is this not? Meanwhile, like songs, those are harder to moderate. And typically, it's just kind of my music or the stuff I'm jiving with, which I know is unfair to you guys. But that is also why we have the YouTube stream if you're not jiving with the music. I don't trust Cat. Plus 300 is crazy cheap. And plus, I may not have access to the music, and that means like I have to constantly look up the music. So yeah, I definitely like the idea. It's just really hard to implement. Cat, you realize you would have to request that, and I'd just say no. You can't do that. I use my points. I have the right to reserve. I have the right to deny service to anybody. I reserve the right. That's yeah. There it is. I was trying to figure out where the reserve word came from. But yeah, like if someone requested a controversial character, just something like questionable, um, for the wheel, I could just shut it down. So in the Kavel channel and taking his positions, I own nothing but crows. Wanted to correct that end of it. I'm taking the crows. You cannot contain them. They'll win. What's up, Rise? Almost finished with the warm up. Gonna jump into the next cylinder, which I'm hoping does not go as poorly as yesterday. Oof. Should have ghosted a lot more right there. I hate drawing on the edge of the page. Always messes me up. Oof. Lots of fraying. I think it's just because of ghosting, but or a lack of, I should say. So we'll prove that with this pass. Yep. That's nice. Cool. So you guys know the plan, the deal, the whatever. We're going to go into BRB, run 2 minutes of ads, disable pre-rolls for the rest of the stream, and then we'll jump into Cylinders. I don't know why I'm blanking so much this stream. Anyways, okay, be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. Hotel Trivago. Yeah, I hope Bear's doing well. Internet detox sounds good though, so hope she's doing well wherever she is. Nope, ads just ended, so maybe only the end part of that got caught. The droning in that part of the song was upsetting me. Cool. So, you guys know the plan. Did I only warm up for 8 minutes? Or maybe I stopped the timer. I think I probably stopped the timer at some point and didn't realize. Cool. There's the music widget, and here's time for cylinders. Ads are done, yep. Cool. Well, let's get started. So, yesterday we left off with a pretty sucky cylinder for multiple reasons. The more you look at it, the worse it gets. Um, that's my microphone. I was so confused as to what this was. Just had a whole coughing fit. Oh my goodness. So let's do another one today. So, highly foreshorten is difficult to make squares out of, and high degrees are difficult to fit an ellipse in there following the major and minor axes. This one we really sucked at following the minor axis on this ellipse. That one was better. So yeah, we'll do a majorly turn to the left, low degree to high degree, which means high foreshortening. Trying to fit it all within the focal point. So we'll do it right here. Methinks. Actually, this is going to go, yeah, they'll go up. So if we can just kind of dodge that by going down here, then we could fit 1 and 1 right here. That'll do. So I'll actually just do one right here. I still don't get ads, and I have no clue why. Hey, shout out, Gems. you have the invisible gift sub. Hopefully Mata. Ooh, wait. Hopefully Mata isn't still paying for stuff like that. Whoa, it's Sadie. How's it going, Sadie? Welcome, welcome. I said majorly turn to the left. Let's do left, because then we can shoot a beam through there. And we said a high to low degree. Gah. Okay. Closing my eyes right now, trying to imagine this. Doing pretty good, huge. I'm going to shut up about that before I do. I don't think I do. I don't think I have the emote. Hopefully not, though. Let's do majorly turn to the right instead. I feel like that'd be easier to fit in here. Let's move it even further up, like right. Yeah. That. There we go. Something like this. Methinks. I'm patiently waiting for the gravel emotes. Me too. The person, here, we'll double check my email. I didn't do it right before stream, but they like sent me a picture of all 3 of the emotes. And they looked good. I really liked them. And I was like, hey, those look good. Here, right, I'll look. Yeah, so they sent me them. I'm like, these are great, awesome work. Thanks for the feedback. Glad you're satisfied with the result. Okay, I'll prep the file and get ready to send it, which was 10 hours ago. I was like, cool. 2 hours after that, I was like, sounds good. Let me know when you've sent the email. And that was 8 hours ago. So I don't know, because like they looked finished. They looked very finished. I haven't gotten any new email or something. I could literally just take them from the picture that they sent me, but that feels wrong. Like I was gonna put the picture of all of them in the Discord, but sadly I'm not gonna show them until like, the entire quote unquote transaction. I've already paid them, but until like it's marked as delivered. I feel like that's the most fair thing I could do for the artist. And their name is Machiko Tammy. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'll, whenever the emotes come out, I'll put in the description of the channel or somewhere. This is where the artist is from, so go feel free to support them. I'm quite pleased with them. It's kind of like the first full rendition of Gravel from another artist. Bear did do the awesome drawing of Gravel, one of the first streams that we drew him, which I loved to death. And this one I was like, it's a blackbird with yellow eyes, basically. I'm gonna spam them huge. Get our money's worth, right? Okay, these are going to be uber foreshortened. Put this like right here. Hopefully this doesn't push it too far out of the focal point, but we'll see. But yeah, for a reminder, we have the Gravel taking notes, Gravel crying, and Gravel in a room that's on fire. So those are the three that we're getting. I honestly am kind of inspired to make my own, but like drawing them in paint just to see what will come of that. Because honestly, you didn't see Bear's drawing. I'll link it in Discord afterwards. If you remind me, I will link it in Discord afterwards. Because I have an entire just file of, or folder of all drawings of Gravel, both that I've made and others made. I appreciate this song, but I do not appreciate that. But yeah, it's Bear was trying to help character design, help us, right? And her take, because purple, I love purple. Purple's my favorite color. And so she's like, maybe we can make his eyes purple or something like that. I haven't still figured out everything with Gravel. I'm not sure if his eyes are actually yellow or not. That is kind of like the defining feature of a grackle. Like whenever even for different types of grackles, you can tell, oh, this is because I think a boat tail grackle doesn't have yellow eyes or something. Here, wait. I may be wrong. I'm wrong. I guess it's just the main differentiation between crows. Like, it's the easiest way to tell something that it isn't a crow, even though, in my opinion, grackles look nothing like crows. But if you ever want like a very quick litmus test, just look at the eyes. Crows have very dark brown. People say black eyes, but I like when I've looked at them very up close, they have like brown eyes. But yeah, of course, like from far away, they just look like black eyes. And then grackles have very prominent yellow eyes. I've seen some black birds, not blackbirds, but black birds that are black, with like light blue / white eyes. I thought those were like baby crows or like jackdaws, but I couldn't find if there's like a specific bird with the blue eyes or not. So if you guys know that, please let me know. Getting really close to 2 point here, aren't we? Let's see. I think we need to make this longer, so we'll move the VP up a little bit. Typically, I underestimate how square it needs to be. So moving it in just a bit further. Historically. Will work. There's no telling you guys how much I love this song. There's so much heart and soul in it. Did some digital sketches today, slowly get the hang of it. I saw your V1 sketch, man. I love it to death. I have no idea what you mean by warming up. You're there. Like, it was great. Was it an Archer or WIP? Oh, more Sadie's haunt spots. Love it. So we're working on this during her stream. Huge. Or was it in Whip? It was in Whip. Oh, I love it. I love V1. I need a new character obsession. I may go back to actually I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain recently. So I feel like I could obsess over one of those characters. I can imagine Commando being somewhat easy to draw. It's literally like a dude in armor and then just a sphere as a head. Risk of Rain is a pretty great game. It's going higher on the tier list for this year. My tier list doesn't work. Like my best game of 2025 isn't by release date. It's by the first time I've interacted with them. Because I take forever to get to games. Don't worry, I'll be playing Elden Ring in like 10 years. Don't worry. Uh-oh. Very not, very far VP, which is okay. But this edge, it's really hard to guesstimate how much. Because since it's, horizontally further, it's going to have a more steep slope. And, ugh. Is this the extended Panacea? Also, everybody, if you haven't listened to it already, new Tyler album out, Don't Tap on the Glass. Oof. It's great. It's great. I don't want to be like, oof, it's bad. No. I love it to death. I'd say, like, Call Me If You Get Lost, Igor, and Chromacopia still are above. Actually, I'm not, no, yeah. I'll piss off a lot of people if I say it's better than Call Me If You Get Lost, but I think it's freaking great, man. It's awesome. I'm so happy with this. Sudden Drop 2, like literally 5 days ago or whatever, I saw people posting about it. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, the song, my favorite songs are Don't Tap on the Glass, and then what is it? I DM'd my friend about it. Mamanim. I love that one just because it screws with you. It like builds up so much hype and then goes to the next song. And there's probably a couple more in there that I absolutely love. But it's great. It's kind of bringing back I don't know the genre or like the vibe or year, but it reminds me of some music I've listened to before. Not like that it's copying or it reminds me in a bad way, but it's like has that same kind of inspiration. I wish I was more musically literate so I could describe how much I like it. My thoughts on it. But super happy with that album. And I love the album cover a lot more than Chromacopia. I like the style. It's going to take me a week or two to dig into the lyrics and figure out what it's all about and saying and stuff. I'm a bad person with lyrics. You want ice cream? What kind of ice cream? My dad was trying to get me to go to the ice cream shop so bad after dinner. Because my family loves coffee ice cream to the point where we've had like 3 tubs of it in our freezer at one time. And we didn't have any tonight, but my sister made cookies, so it was cool. I had my sugary snack of the day. But anyways, my dad was like, oh, you should go to the ice cream store. I was like, I got a stream, man. Cookie dough, solid choice. Okay, PSA everybody. PS frickin' A. If I get an Oreo ice cream, which is great. What's up for? If I get an Oreo ice cream, I want actual chunks of Oreo in there. Amen. What? Have you ever done vanilla ice cream with coffee grounds sprinkled in that? No. That sounds crazy interesting though. So like vanilla ice cream Or sorry, like vanilla bean ice cream. That sounds like those together sound great. But yeah, PSA, if you give me Oreo ice cream and there aren't chunks of Oreo in there, I'm still going to eat it because Oreo ice cream is freaking amazing. But you're just giving me like vanilla with extra steps. Cookie dough, I used to like cookie dough a lot, but it made me feel like so full. I don't know why. Probably because the ice cream store I got it from. It's pretty dang good though. You can't go wrong. Maybe it's too sugary or something. Then again, Oreo. It's ice cream, right? I love cake batter ice cream. I agree with that take too. Yeah, cake batter. Whenever I've had like birthday, okay, guys, let's be mature. Let's all be adults, right? Um, Birthday cake ice cream is just not that good. It just isn't. It's too much. We've all loved birthday cake ice cream at one point, and we can forgive ourselves and accept ourselves for liking it. But what have you got to tell me? It was at one point great, but man, every time I've had birthday cake ice cream since I like turned 12, I was so disappointed. Cake batter? I think I've had cake batter before. I'm sorry, Gems. Paper. Shout out. I'm sorry, Gems. But there's just like, there's better. There's more. We humans were given taste buds not just to have birthday cake ice cream all the time. We were meant for more. We were given opposable thumbs to grab the spoons, not spoons going into birthday cake ice cream, but spoons going into Oreo ice cream. Amen. I'm done. Yeah, cake batter is like, okay, I'm maybe misremember. I think my sister had it once, and it's like she get birthday cake is like vanilla cake ice cream with pieces of cake and icing and sprinkled. But cake batter is just cake batter flavored. Yeah, no, like birthday cake is like the rainbow, like crazy food dye, red 50, super absurdly sweet, and there's like too much going on. I need to try. You know what? It's a goal of mine to go try some cake batter soon. I think that is because it just sounds great. How could you go wrong with cake batter? Hell, I just want a cake. You like pancake better? Oh, sorry. I thought you said you like pancakes better than like ice cream. I was like, that's like almost a straw man. Like, what? Where are you pulling that out from? Yeah, how could you go wrong with that? Any better? I don't think I've ever had a batter in my life that I'm not like sneaking. Like, what is it called? Kavel, you said I would eat paper. I don't think I did. Did I? I wouldn't put it past myself. Can't imagine paper's too tasty though. What's this song? Rain World. I've been meaning to buy Rain World. Has anyone here played it? I've heard great things about it. It's almost like inspired a bit of a cultish community. I know people who are like super into the game. I always hear the words like ecosystem thrown around when I hear of Rain World. No idea what that means. Yeah, this summer I've been slowly picking up games that I've been meaning to play for a while. Elden Ring is up there, man. I don't know what's holding me back. Maybe it's because it's just an investment of time. I've checked this line like 80 times. I just gotta be confident with it. Let's see, this line is gonna move slower in and probably go to probably about right here-ish. The degree is increasing. I'm gonna be bold and push it just a tiny bit more. Right here-ish. Just to get a bit more of that larger degree down here that I want. Elden Ring and the Night Rain, yeah. It just looks so fun. The characters look great. All my friends swear by it. I mean, it got Game of the Year, and the DLC was nominated, right, for Game of the Year or whatever, so. I wonder what's getting Game of the Year this year. Satisfactory. Ooh. I forgot you're back on your Satisfactory grind. How's that going? Gyms, I'm not telling you this or saying this to encourage you to do this. It's something I totally would though. I would use my 3D printer to make Satisfactory components in real life. I totally would make a little factory on my desk. You know, like 1/100th scale. This is why you can't trust me with 3D printers. I'll just waste time and money. Like imagine, I don't know anything about Satisfactory or like the components in Satisfactory, but just like a little loop. Imagine a little loop. And like you could put motors in it, get like a little 5-volt motor and like get something to go around in a circle. That'd be so fun. I don't know why, but when I was younger, I would so do it though. It would be hard, yeah. I wonder if any of the like STLs are available online or stuff like that. Who knows? Here, wait, let me I'm gonna mess with something off screen real quick. Actually, wait. Decided I needed another sip of water. Cool. Oh, I left the timer going. Oh no, what are we gonna do? But yeah, I don't want to challenge you to that if you have to make the models, because that would suck. But yeah, if there's like STLs out there, which it always amazes me how there is usually a model for something out there. Like it could be super niche, someone's made it. Or it could be like a wonderful opportunity to learn how to take something from Blender and optimize it for printing, and then bam. I'm not sure if I said this. I blanked. When I was younger and I first heard about 3D printing, I thought it was the future. I thought it was gonna like break the world. I thought it was gonna be the AI revolution that we now have nowadays, right? They're just gonna be like, oh my god, no one's gonna buy from the stores anymore because they're just printing their own couches and food. And then again, I was like 6 or something. I don't know. And hey, I mean, 3D printing is really cool. It's also a really crazy fire hazard, but it's also really cool. Uh-oh. I think I cylindered too close to the sun here. We'll see, actually. I think the days of 3D printers being, fire hazards, or like not even just hazards, but there's incidents, are probably long gone. But this is to say, always be cautious. Keep your 3D printing space away from flammable materials. Um, all the good safety stuff. In my high school and university of life of being around tens of 3D printers at a time that are working literally all day, and even some that are printing like carbon fiber or stuff, putting in that real work. No hazards, but that isn't to say that it's not possible. And I've only been around tens of them. There's satisfactory stuff. Let's frickin' go. If anything, you can just print the. I don't know, once again, anything about Satisfactory, but whenever I see Satisfactory on the Steam page, it's always the like person or like the helmet there. So you could at least print like a character. That'd be very fun. I mean, my favorite thing, I didn't 3D print this. I bought this from Top Hat Waffle. For those who don't know, Top Hat Waffle is like the premier source for any 10-year-old wanting to learn Hammer. Very in-depth and very well done tutorials, as well as an amazing map maker and a just legend in the source community. And part of the source Hammer editor, which is what you use to make maps, the spawn point or any entity, or most entities are indicated with this man. It's Gordon Freeman, but like green and low poly. This indicates either a player spawn point or like some general entities. I bought this from him to commemorate, how much, because like, source games aren't as big anymore. So just to like, commemorate my time with source games and all the maps I've made. Because realistically, I'm not sure if I'll ever make a Gmod map again. I had lots of fun doing it though. I wish I started I mean, and everyone says this, right? I wish I started making maps when I was younger, so then I could have made more maps by the time I stopped, right? Like, by the time I retired. Like, I grew up as a Minecraft kid and then a Source kid. Which is weird, because either you're a Minecraft kid or a Source kid. And that's usually the defining factor of your, like, birth, like, when you were born. But I got to video games kind of late, in my opinion. So hence why I started with Minecraft rather than a Half-Life or Gmod. And I also went reverse, because I feel like a lot of people started with Half-Life and then went to Gmod. I went to Gmod and then went to Half-Life. And then CS and all that stuff. TF2. It's weird. When I mess up cylinders, I feel awful and like the world's ending. Yet I love, one of my favorite parts of the day is thinking about that I'm going to stream, I'm going to hang out with everyone, I'm going to draw cylinders. You put the helmet cosplay? Oh, let's check this out. Yeah, do you think now that you own a 3D printer, you're going to be doing any cosplays in the near future? Oh my god. That's amazing. I did not expect that fidelity. That is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Those rivets and everything look, I mean, obviously those weren't 3D printed, right? But like that detail with the mesh underneath the lens. All of that. I had one before, and my dad does make a Mandalorian cosplay. Oh, that's so cool. If you can, or if he's comfortable with it, please send those components and pictures of that stuff. Oh, it kept breaking. Ah. Man, they did amazing. Whoever this person is, They did an amazing job like texturing and detailing all of that. Wowee. 3D printers are the hobbyist's dream, dude. Oh my gosh. Maybe once I get my $1 million streamer mansion, I'll start. Celeste, I love your music. That was not necessary. When I get my $1 million streamer mansion, I'll invest in a 3D printer again. Gravel cosplay. I think that's just called a fursuit. I've never seen a bird furry or like fursuit before though, so maybe I'd be an innovator in that field. Feels awfully rectangular. Which I did not expect it to. Oh man, so Bear recently sent a music video, or just music, in the YouTube video chat. It's from Igor Dorohedoro. I'm not sure if it's an entire album dedicated to Dorohedoro, given the album art, or it's just that one song dedicated to it, and if it was a single. But that brought me to this person named Igor, Igorrr, not the album by Tyler the Creator, which is also my favorite album by Tyler. But this artist, their album Kavel, oh my god, what's the dude who reviews music on YouTube? He's really funny. YouTube's busiest music nerd. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he did a review of it that I haven't watched yet. But I love Kavel so much. It's so great. It's become probably my new favorite workout mix. Or like it all of it's in there. It's each one of them are so great. And Dorohedoro, it's not on Apple Music, which is where I listen to all my music when I work out. But it has like little breakcore snippets inside of it. That's so freaking good. There's this guy who does D&D monsters. Ooh. Oh, I think you talked about this actually. Maybe. Or maybe my friend did. Who cares? About 3D printing. Yeah, D&D, I could only imagine how great a 3D printer is for that. I always think of myself a nerd, and I forget how many other sects of nerds there are. Like there's D&D. You know, I was like source. I'm an FPS nerd, right? But there's like dinosaur nerds and geography nerds and world history nerds. And like I forget, like I'm just such a small subset of all these very geeky people. He started streaming on Twitch and making the models. I was like, where's this going? Yeah, rough start to that little rant. I will not lie. But yeah, the D&D nerd group, Nerd Sphere. Of course, there's plenty of overlap between all of these. Like, if you play war video games, you're probably going to like world history. If you play first-person shooters, you're probably going to... Okay, I can't make that joke. Like, you know, all this stuff, right? And... D&D is a sphere that was so close to everything. I love high fantasy. I love, you know, I'm not gonna say The Witcher is D&D, but you know, I don't jive with role play and video games and like tabletop games, all that. I can't do it. It's both like I'm not gonna say cringy, but it's just like I don't jive with. Cause like, oh my god, I love Critical Role. I love they make all the YouTube shorts and they Tales of Adventurous, maybe, or something like that. I love them to death, but you cannot catch me doing that, if that makes sense. Not that it's cringy or bad or anything, right? It's just, I feel like I would crack playing a character. Oy, oy, oy. See what I mean? Okay, that sucked. Pin, what are you doing? Interesting. Like I tried getting into Gmod, what was it? Combine RP. I think that was the only one I ever played was Combine RP because I liked playing as a citizen and then like bee hopping out of bounds and like glitching things. I wasn't even really role playing except for the parts where I needed to like get through a security gate or whatever. Um cuz like I guess I don't like being confined to a role, which is weird that I played Combine RP, but anyways, or like Half-Life RP I should say. And I got instantly taken out of it when I realized all the people on the server that I was playing on who were role playing as Combine were just power tripping the entire time. Like it wasn't just like trying to fulfill a role of being a Combine, which it are inherently humans that are either power tripping or gave up their humanity for the sake of security, of food, the promise of safety, right? Some of course will be power tripping and they have beating quotas and stuff, right? But it was just these people being like doing things against the rules and then yelling at you for. Anyways, I'm ranting. Yeah, that's my only experience, which I clearly am opinionated on. Maybe my first D&D campaign I should play as a oof god plays a mute, so like I don't have to deal with many of those aspects. Kinku, so that I wouldn't have to improvise so much. What's a kinku? Let's see. Kinku. You're not getting a more personalized search. With web and app activity off, you don't get more relevant search results, more tailored discover stories, or shopping recommendations for you. What? I don't care, Google. You can't. No, I don't want to turn it on. Leave me alone. Kinku, fictional race of bird-like humanoids in D&D. Huge. Okay. Little crow. Hee hee. Oh, that was really cool art. And I scrolled too far. Oh god, I scrolled way too far. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is actually perfect for Gravel. In fact, there's a comic by can't remember the name. I think I have a picture of the comic though. Pockets SSS, like that's Pocketss. They did the I don't have it here. They did the Moss Collector comic that's super popular as well as the Worm comic. And they did one where it's I think that same type of character, a kinku, getting scared by a what's it called? Scarecrow, because it is, I guess, like crow adjacent, if not like completely crow inspired. Which, speaking of crows, no new crow updates for today. They're all chilling. They hung around a lot in the morning until like lunchtime. And some of them started making noises, these weird noises again that I only hear when humans are outside. And it's like instead of a caw, which is their thing, they go like ba, like short. It's very short and it starts with a B instead of like a hard like caw. It's like a ba. And it's weird because my college isn't crazy for it isn't on another continent compared to my hometown, right? Yet the doves there don't have orange eyes or as orange eyes. Meanwhile, the doves at my home, they have orange eyes. Like extremely orange eyes. Almost like a little bit red. Like it's forming almost a brown with both of those. Which is very, very interesting to me because I didn't expect it to vary so drastically across the US. I'm smearing ink again. How could I? How dare I? Nice. Jim's better know this song, or else she's banned. Hmm. You're telling me you're not a pro and have heard every single song possible, including the end credits? You know what game I need to play again? I've talked about this game before on stream, and I have to be careful talking about it because literally thinking about it makes me cry. I decided to wait for my GPU and to record this. Gotcha. Um, is Before Your Eyes. I've talked about it at least 5 times on the stream. But man, that is just one hell of a game. I feel like everyone should be like mandated, government mandated play Before Your Eyes. Like Clockwork Orange. no, that happens in Clockwork Orange, but a certain scene in Clockwork Orange. Probably the most popular. I'm gonna wait for this to dry while I take a sip of water. If you have a face cam, and if you have free time, about probably 2 hours, maybe 3 hours of free time, sit down at night. Make sure there's no distractions. You have water, lots of water, so you don't have to like go and take a pause and do a playthrough of Before Your Eyes. Wonderful game, endorsed by Gravel. That is the only game I've ever just sat through the credits, not skipping it, not because it was boring or anything, but because I was bawling my eyes out, just ugly crying. That was the ugliest I've ever cried in my whole life. Speaking of crying to media, what was it? Earlier today, I watched One Piece episode 1136. I always feel silly for saying the episode number because it's always in the thousands and it's just a bit absurd. But This is a very sad episode, but I was holding pretty strong throughout the whole thing. I was like, yeah, this is sad. And even at one point, I was like, I wish I felt more connected to this. I don't know why I'm not feeling it. And then the last 5 minutes happen, and oh my god, I felt this was the first time I felt that sad since some other notable events, hundreds of episodes, like near episode like 400, and that connected to One Piece. And I'm not gonna lie, One Piece is super dry and like sure there's peak moments, right? There's the Katakuri fight, there's the um Dressrosa where he like blocks Doflamingo, stuff like that, right? But nothing has made me feel the same way that I felt when I first started watching One Piece, except for the fight in Wano and the end of it, because it was so long. It was such a stupid long fight. All of Wano is way too long. Um, but also, and then these current moments in Egghead. There's been two major fights, both of which are some of my favorite. Because right now we're just kind of experiencing the topple. All the things, all the structure that Oda has built up for the story. Now it's okay. Coming down sounds like bad, but like it's all I guess it's all falling into place now. We're finally seeing everything start going, gaps being solved, mysteries being both created. Like it's like two mysteries are solved and then one is created. So, Jims, does that mean you're going to start streaming Spiritfarer? Because I would be so hyped for those streams. Maybe just recording. Gotcha, gotcha. Wonder who your favorite character will be. Oh, I did not know this song was called Petrichor. Huge. I don't know why, but suddenly I'm craving a smoothie. Maybe that'll happen someday this week. Nice. Very nice. We're setting ourselves up with a pretty well done box here. It looks like we've maintained a high degree down here. It looks like we're not going to have a major minor axis flip, but we do have a pretty unique position for the minor axis. So it'll be a fun ellipse to create. But first, let's mark those contact points. Forgot how much. Actually, no, I didn't forget how much I love the Hyperlight Drifter OST. I don't know why, but it gives me vibes of like Half-Life 2 when you're on the coast. The highway, whatever it's called. It just like I feel like this music could fit there. It's very empty. I feel like, you have big city, City 17 and even Ravenholm before that. But all of these places have enemies and monsters and stuff. But when you get to the highway section, the coast, all there are antlions. And that's kind of it. And even there are some segments where antlions aren't. And all you have is the just whistling of the wind around you. And the remainder of the shoreline. Which is really, I think at that point of the game, you've gotten so far, as far as you have any time in the game, from the reach of the Combine. And yet still their effects are there. I do have to come clean, everybody. I actually I'm not sure if it counts as an apology or just a recognition of my failures, but I was very, very confident by the word of, what's his name, Shapiro, the guy who voice acted for Barney and G-Man, by the 19.7 inside of his album art and his statement saying that he'll see us very soon in both Barney and G-Man's voice. I was highly confident. I probably made a bet that he would, something of Half-Life, HLX, would be made known on July 19th. It is 2 days past then, and we've heard nothing. I'm still holding out that we will hear something this year. I still have hope. But if nothing happens, nothing is heard of major and important in the year of our Lord 2025 from Half-Life, I will be actually somewhat disappointed. Because having like one of the biggest, kind of the voice actor for that game, whose voices do you hear the most other than Kleiner and Eli, if not G-Man and Barney, right? I'll be quite upset if we don't get Half-Life news this year. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Because like so much has been happening with Valve, from opening up manufacturing in Australia during PAX, to the patent for the Deckard, to all of these files and things being updated relating to Half-Life assets and voice actors being hired and then having listings on their portfolio of undisclosed projects at Valve that weren't related to whatever their newest game is, right? It's gotta mean something, right? No. Come on, Valve. You're right. I'm going insane. This is just to visualize the major axis. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking it was so much to the side. Scuffed it down here, I can already tell. But not too horrible. Hell yeah, Kavel's still drawing. You know me, it takes me forever to do anything. Welcome back, welcome back. Gonna wait for this to dry. Kind of messed up the bottom of this, but I'd say it's an okay ellipse. It's a mighty fine for the 213th, I think. Yeah. I'll gladly be the slowest YouTuber so long as he finishes what he starts. I'll be as slow as I need be so long as I'm persistent, right? Making sure that's all nice and dry. Despite my joy, this may be where the minor and major axes flipped. Bit pointy right there for no reason, but I think it's okay. We're a bit as a predator. We're a bit but I think it's not too bad. This, I think we definitely recovered after yesterday. Back on the horse, everybody. Hopefully Sadie's still here for that horse joke. Pun. Phrase, saying, I don't know. Ooh, goodness. I was like, I almost had a cramp in my leg. I think so. Where I'm sitting, here's my leg. Here's like the bottom of the desk with the drawers, and it was like pressing the bottom of my quad against the stool, and I felt a cramp coming on. So I got to be very careful with that. I don't typically like sitting on the very edge of the stool, but I'm doing that right now. Nice. Wait for that to dry. Ooh, one cylinder stream, man. This is definitely gonna be a 100 stream playlist. We may actually land right on the 100 mark if we can. Like, I kind of want to try for that. Maybe we'll have a stream where we do some more. Got to do more digital stuff. Heck yeah, man. I actually bought a tablet Rise and I have not touched it at all. It was I got it on sale on Amazon. I need to use that thing. Nice. Skill curve is whooping you. Yeah, that's why when it comes to digital, I'm gonna wait a meanwhile and then also only approach it with a course. Because then I feel like it'll give me an objective rather than just kind of doing too much on my own. Getting in tablets, yeah, I can imagine that. It's weird because like with most things, I like kind of going like Blender. I'm gonna go on my own. I'm not gonna use tutorials. But art is different because I am scared of developing poorer habits, which is weird. Because like, what's the difference? Haven't been too lucky. Gotcha. Yeah, because I know there's ones on New Masters, but I don't know, or at least I've heard of them. Bone funny, no. Why read bone funny, funny bone? I'm loving this song. Is this Mother? Yep, Mother 3. That singing kind of reminded me of the Receiver soundtrack. Cool, cool. That was the 213th cylinder. Some stuff wrong, but honestly, not bad at all. And I'm pretty happy. In fact, I'd say it's probably better than this one, which we're proud of. So, good. For digital, I'm not sure if they do too incredibly basic, but New Masters is structured similar to Drawbox with branching pathways. Gotcha. Well, cool then. So, that wraps this up, everybody. 213th cylinder. Good stream. Very calm stream. Very happy with it. We got to see a lot of people this stream. Thank you for Rise, Jim, Sadie, Ket. I think that's everybody. So thank you all your faces. Like I said yesterday and the day before, pretty normal week. We will not be streaming on Thursdays. 50% Friday on Friday. And just kind of having as much fun as we can until school starts back up. So yeah, once again, sincerely, thank you all for joining me tonight. Oof, voice crack. And I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.